I'm heading off to a place called Fabula, La Fabula, another tapas bar right down the end of Triana. So overcast day, a lot of people walking around, of course. It'll probably be crowded. I don't know if I'll get a seat, if there is a seat there, but it's an opportunity to have a little walk. If I don't have tapas, I can just pick up some cakes or something along one of the many pastry joints that seems to line the streets around here. I haven't had anything like that. I've only had one piece of chocolate which came with the coffee. I haven't had anything else that's really been of a sweet variety, so I probably should try some. I'm just worried about the weight thing. I'm not losing any weight because there's so much food here, and I had my big salad, which is essential for health. I mean, I'm very happy because I got a gigantic bag of spinach from Carafa. That really is a great supermarket, and is actually much better value than the one I've been going to, the mass one, where I get the attitude from the checkout chick and I don't get as good a prices, because this is a 300ml bag of spinach, which is twice the large size you get at Coles, and it was €1, so that's the equivalent of about $1.80, $1.90. Bloody good value, because it's cheaper and bigger. So yeah, no, Carafa's a great little supermarket, it really is. So I decided not to go all the way to the other one today, and it was a smart move as it turned out. It's just they don't always have it in stock, but no, the prices are excellent. So that was great. You just got to battle through the crowds going down here. It's always busy. It's a big tourist area, so can't do much about that. But it is good. As long as I'm eating healthy, I'm pretty happy. And I had a bottle of vino again, and that was $3.50, and it's a really nice drop. Red wine, fantastic. Even though I had to use the corkscrew, but I can adapt back to the old ways. Second time walking down here, I've had waiters bump into me as they go. They just rush back to their restaurants and don't even look. It's just crazy. So it's obviously not that isolated. It's only twice. I haven't been here that long. So not good. Many people seem to be using this bike track. Yeah, it's pretty busy down here. I think when you get right down the end, you don't get quite as many tourists. It's more a local area. Now we'll see. I don't know what hope I've got. The other area that's nice to sit by is that's the first bike ride I've seen down here. Quite overcast today, but that's good. Don't have to worry about the sun much. Well, this one's in a really quiet area. This is the street coming down. There's a whole lot of abandoned places there, and this is the actual tapas bar here. So yeah, very suburban and not super lively. It's just an oasis. Gracias. Yeah, I prefer to be outside, but I think it's a bit crowded out there. It's a Saturday, but there's plenty of seats indoors, so it's not bad. And I've got more of olives. I'm getting more than my fill of olives, which is healthy. And I wanted the gnocchi with cheese, so let me see how that goes. But there's my beer. 120, not bad. I've got plenty of vino tinto at home today, so no point having that. So I'll see how the gnocchi turns out. Just got my food. Well, I got the bread. I haven't got the food yet, actually. That's the beginning. At least that's the start. I won't touch these little things. I've got millions of them at home, so. But this is definitely a local joint. Now I've got the gnocchi. There you go. There's the gnocchi and a little bit of bread, and the olives are good. So we'll see how we go. Good fun. You've got different alcohol contents. This is a list of beers, and some we've got a local brand. It's you've got a 4.8 alcohol by volume, and you've also got a 6.4. So it varies a bit. That's pretty high for beer, actually. Look at this around here. This is like a little sea of civilization, and a whole area that seems to be shut down. This is weird. It does not look healthy. all the outlets here seem to be in trouble. There's a Carafa Express down there. It's obviously still going. But anyway, getting to the business that mattered, the cafe was excellent. The little tapas bar. The funny thing is, the gnocchi was very sweet. They added sugar to it, but it was still okay. But I've never struck that before. The actual quality of the gnocchi itself is very good, so that's fine. And it was a decent proportion as well. And the whole bill only came to $4.60 with a beer and gnocchi. Pretty good value. It's a genuine local place, and I was very impressed. And at the end, I haven't struck this either. With the bill, they give you the bill, and they also give you a couple of little sweets to go with it. Little cherry. What do you call them? They're wrapped in plastic. Just sweets basically, 2 sweets. But that was nice. It's a nice touch, and the people were excellent service, good quality food. Yeah, it's a winner. It's a definitely go of this place, and it's not a tourist joint at all. You could just tell it's a real locals place. But gee, you get the impression that the retail outlets here are doing it tough. There's nothing coming. So yeah, I just want to go the other side of the road a bit into deepest, darkest Triana, and I'll go down to, there's a big road coming up just down here, and it goes to a huge parkland, which is very dry from what I can tell online. Look at that tree, it's huge. Almost looks like a tree you'd find in Oz. Could be a eucalypt. I mean, they've got the climate for it around here, so it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, it does look like something from back home. No, it's a beautiful day. I would have liked to have been outdoors, but that's okay. Dog turds, well, that's life. You get them on the footpath. It's the first time I've seen it though. They must clean them up pretty quickly. But no, again, Google came through perfectly, because that got a very high rating, and well deserved, I've got to say. Nothing flashy about the decor, but the prices are good and their service is excellent. But yeah, this is definitely genuine Triana, not the picture postcard version. So that looks like a pretty rundown sort of block there too. I wasn't overly impressed with the parkland I saw online though down here. It was very, very dry, similar to what I saw in the centre of town. With that area was pretty similar. This seems to just go down to where the housing blocks are. Yeah, it's a pretty stark sort of dichotomy between the tourist area, and you just wander off a little bit and all of a sudden you're in real Spain. And that looks like this. Like I said, there was no English menu there. That's a clue to how genuine it was. And also there were people dining there who had there's a woman who had 2 kids, and there was another group of people that had kids there as well. So, you know, you can tell it's just not, it's a different scene. But it was all right. It looks like most people here live in flats. You see a lot of flats around. I don't think many people can afford houses over here. Certainly the wages aren't great. Anyway, the people running that place were excellent. They were really good, so it was a pleasure to go down and check that out. I'll be giving it a good review. Well, I am giving it a good review. Now, I don't know if this is the main. There's a lot of facilities catering for kids in this place. You see kids everywhere in Seville. There'd be a reasonable quality of life for them, I would think. compared to a big city like Madrid, which would be much more expensive. I think most people live in the suburbs outside Madrid anyway. The centre of town would be expensive. Anyway, so here's a glimpse of some real suburbia. I sort of touched on it when I went to that last meetup group. That was you didn't have all the classic architecture you get in Centro. It's a different scene. It was a lot uglier in that respect, but it was at least real. And it looks like there's a bridge going over. That's probably a highway below, I'd say. And that's a bridge going all the way over there, so I don't know if I can be bothered going all that way. Mind you, if you had a bike, you could explore a lot more, which I may do next week. Might be worth doing. They've even got them here, these hire bikes. There you go. So it's not just in the centre of the city. Mind you, not many are used. They seem to be just sitting idle. That place is doing a good trade over there. I'm guessing this is a tram from a bygone era. It's just on display here. It sort of reminds you a bit of Portugal. It's not a bad idea. Exercise equipment, very reminiscent of Vietnam. A lot of rebuilding happening over there. Well, there is a nice looking park over there, so I'll go and check it out. But you can see there's a lot of high rises here. Seems pretty typical. I think most people, as I said, are living in high rise apartments. Yeah, it definitely looks lusher than the other park. This is the end of summer, to be fair, so other times of the year it would presumably look green, although they're obviously spending a bit of time watering down here. There's a lot of grass. This is unusual, very unusual for Seville. Yeah, that's not the way the other place looks. That's a decent looking fountain down there too. I think they need it here though, because it's pretty built up, so it's good to have an oasis of greenery. Although not many people are using it, they're all out stuffing their faces with tapas. Another thing I notice about Seville, a lot of guys are walking dogs. It seems to be predominant over women walking dogs, but it's a real thing. Just shows there's a bit of water here, quite a nice little lake. Sun's actually come out. Not in a traditional design, I guess it's more utilitarian, but at least the water makes it look good. It'd be nice if it was a bit more old worldy, but you can't have everything. What's that here? Menu, €9 menu. Well, there you go. Sounds like it's got a set menu for €9. That's not bad. And then of course they cater for the kids with the jumping castle. Anyway, that was a successful walk up to Triana, up to the northern part of Triana to see that little barn. I think it's the real deal. I think it was better than the other one I just stumbled upon. The food's got a bit more flair, even though it's just a basic place. The people running it seem to be fairly dedicated to what they're doing, and that always helps. I think they're trying to get a name for themselves, and unfortunately they're a bit off Broadway because the main road is where all the tourist places are, but as usual you'll find you'll get better value and probably better food in these off the beaten track places. Not that it's that far off the beaten track, but it's amazing the transformation that can take place if you just walk a block. It's I mean, it happens in Cairns too, where I live. That's a tourist town, and if you just go another block or so, you're back in the normal part of town, for instance, and you've got the showcase area, but it's not that. I'd love to have some little bars like they have here, corner bars in in a place like Parramatta Park, but it's just not the Anglo tradition, unfortunately. It's not our culture. I wish it was. I think it'd be really civilised to go to a small bar where they don't have high overheads. I mean, that's the thing about Australia. The government has to poke its nose and everything and dictate you have to have licences and what have you for every single business, and it puts small operators off. And I mean, I understand the reason for regulation. We don't want to have an unregulated system. You do need to keep tabs on people, but a lot of it's revenue raising. It's just not to do with actually looking after the welfare of people. It's basically just there to get the government coffers up. Actually, someone mentioned the other day, I don't know where it was, somewhere in Oz, they had to pay over $400 just to change their business name. It was total BS, you know. It's just basically a way of I think it was in New South Wales, they're just basically screwing small business. It's just disgusting. There's no justification for that rate apart from basically a money grab. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever, and either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.